Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. Now in this video, we will talk about downloading your code editor. For us to start writing codes, we need our code editor. Now in this video, I'll show us how to get started downloading the best code editor to work with HTML in particular. So what I'll do is pop over to my browser and I'll go to Google and I'll search for something. Now I'm not just going to say this, I'm going to try to be more explanatory to show us how we can go to Google and gather all of this information we need and solve our problems. So first thing I would want to do is I would say, what is a code editor? Now I know this is just me trying to be very basic, but I'd like you to see for yourself. So a code editor is a specialized text editor designed for writing and editing computer codes. It enhances the coding experience and features like syntax highlighting, auto-completion, and debugging tools. And that's one. We need a code editor for us to start writing our codes. And so sometimes you'll have seen a programmer having these screens with a lot of red, blue, yellow lights on it. That's what it is. It's a code editor. Code editor is quite different from an IDE. An IDE is an integrated development environment. It's a software application that provides a comprehensive emphasis on the comprehensive environment for developers to write, debug, and test their codes. So an IDE is more like a small, bigger version of a code editor. Now for HTML, I'd say if you use an IDE, it's an overkill. But if you use a code editor, something lightweight and basic, because most IDE, as heavy as they are, it's probably takes a lot of RAM and space in your computer, just basically writing HTML codes. And we'll get to that in the future, probably in another video, another course. But for HTML, you definitely don't need an IDE. So one of the things you'd want to do is a best code editor there is for HTML. Now I'll tell you for free that Visual Studio Code would probably emerge as one of your top choices to go to, but there are still versions like Notepad++, which I used during my time. Trust me, I had a terrible experience with this, but then I definitely want to appreciate the team because it was under the general public license and it was actually made for free for the public. Sublime Text is actually paid. I think it's a one-time payment or yearly payment plan. But trust me, it is lovely and good. It's something lightweight. It makes you focus with good themes and, good design and all of those IntelliSense it comes with. Brackets is also one lovely one, which was discontinued. I believe Brackets is no longer available to use unless it has been resumed. Okay, well, let's just leave that aside. Initially, during my time, Brackets was discontinued in favor of VS Code, I believe. But that's just about that. I'll just basically skip the whole thingy. But then you've got a lot of options. You've got Komodo Edit, you've got Vim, you've got Atom, which is another lovely one. Don't use Notepad, please. Don't use Notepad. You've got ECMAS, which is also nice. But my best choice is Visual Studio Code. So go to Google, search for Visual Studio Code, download. I'm using the macOS 2024 version on a 16 gigabyte unified memory and on the M4 chip. So I'll probably download the one for my thingy, but I don't need to do that now because I probably already got it. But for the sake of it, I'm going to download it and install it. Now, I can't teach you how to install Visual Studio Code because I believe it's pretty much one of the basic thingy we all probably need to know. But then again, feel free to, Google how to install it if you ever get stuck with installing it. So that's it. And this is what it looks like. So now this video is so long enough. I'm just going to split into two sections and I'll call this one Introduction, Getting Your Tools Ready. Now the second one we'll go to is Starting to Write Our First HTML Tags, which is the beginning of our coding experience. See you on the next video. Bye.